at the 43rd annual Pictured Rocks Road Race with none other than Norma Harger, who with her husband Al started this whole thing. Is that right?
That's correct. We started in 1976, and that was the bicentennial for the nation. So that's why it was the oddball distance of 11.3 miles, which was 1776 kilometers. My scientific husband came up with that. So we knew we were going to drop that 3/10 right from the beginning.
But it was always fun to tell people that they were going to be setting a PR for a distance, because it's an unusual one.
Yes, that's what made it unique, and that's what brought a lot of people back, because it was totally different, and the top competitors told us it took as much out of them to run those 2 hills because as it did to run a marathon, when they really are pushing themselves.
Well, I remember the big one called Stink Hill. I don't think anybody ever forgets it. I ran it a couple of times, and it's probably what brings people back. They get bragging rights.
Right, they do. And now many people do not know why it's Stink Hill. It wasn't because it was the competition for the runner. It's because where they used to drag livestock up there and drop it off, so it was Stink Hill.
So it's stinky.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that story.
I know. I'm sure you didn't. And my husband once took a picture there, and it was of a carcass of a deer and just the ribs showing, and he put a sign by it, one that didn't make it.
Well, that's one of the things that's always fun about this is folks around here, and you especially, just know how to bring the fun out of distances like 11.3 miles.
Right. It was a lot of work. I worked on it every month of the year. In the wintertime, used to make the welcome signs, because when we started this race, there were only maybe 7 or 8 races in the Upper Peninsula. Yeah, my husband used to take the kids, the high school kids and some adults, clear down to Ohio sometimes to go into running, and it was always fast and slow on just flat country. So he wanted to show off what we run up here in the Upper Peninsula.
And it works. You definitely shows it off.
Right, it certainly did. Nowadays, running has become so popular throughout the whole nation that it's many times there'll be 4 or 5 events going on a weekend, and many times it's only a one-time thing because the community is doing something special, and they're just doing that as a little added event to it.
Well, this is a huge event, and obviously the tourism has picked up since the early days of the race. But I want to get back to something you said earlier, and that is you ran the race a couple of times. What do you remember about running your own race?
Well, the first time that I ran it, I never had gone and looked at the trail because I wanted the same experience that I knew the runners were having when they were out there. And especially up that Stink Hill, you think you've gotten to the top, and then as you continue to go through the woods, there's more little rises and more little rises, and you come out on a gravel road. And back then, the coming down from that was this making that transition was a sandy trail. And I know my older son used to just get right on that and just make a jump from one step to another to pick up his space, I guess.
So I think the finish here at the park right by the bay is a new one. Where was the original finish?
I drove up there this morning because I forgot they had changed it. It was always at the stadium, which made nice viewing for people. And, that's where you came down off of Stank Hill, and then you turned into the stadium there. And they was right on the field. And that's so funny. Habits are so crazy. And then it dawned on me, I think they said it's a Bayshore Park, which it's nice. That's nice for the lake. But our whole mission when we started this was to get people into thinking about the activity and to promote munising, because there wasn't anything in tourism like it is today. I mean, the last 5 years here in our area has just boomeranged. I mean, it's just all come around to the point that sometimes people wish they'd go home, but not really.
Well, there's so many wonderful things about this area. What are some of the things that you prize about living here?
Well, I guess the quietness of it all, and the things that they've finally are really, really developing the use of our bay a lot more. We have 3 different excursions you can go on with the Picture Drugs cruises, the shipwreck tours, and then the Riptide ride. And so all of those things are varied. And then they've added the pirate ship. That's the latest thing that they've added. And so there's just a lot going on. And with the pure Michigan development, it has just, blown it right out. There people come from all over the world here. I kept a record of different countries of even for our race that people came here. One year, one man was from Australia, and I remember he said to me, "We have an 11-mile race in Australia, but I don't know why they did that. It was just where they wanted to start it and end it. We had a mission when we put it out there."
Well, I enjoyed the 11-mile distance because, like I said, you get a PR, so that was always cool.
Yes, that was it, and that's what people come. We finished with 600 participants in the last year that we ran it in 1996. That was the centennial of the city. And so I had known that I was not going to continue it beyond that. And so 2 years prior to that, we started letting people know, and that really brought a lot of people back that maybe wouldn't have come for the very last year that they knew that the Harger family was doing it.
So it's back, and it's the 43rd one, and people are having a blast. So thank you for starting such a wonderful tradition.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that different ones have picked it up and kept it going. It's a compliment to us and to the community.
Yeah. It certainly does, and we're going to look forward to our next visit.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.